Good day, my dear students. So I will be discussing to you now our first lesson, the introduction to philosophy. So at the end of this discussion, so you will be able to learn the true definition of philosophy, the four main branches of philosophy, and the specific fields of philosophy, and last is the significance of philosophy. So of course, philosophy is very important to study, okay? Because it will help us to understand, no, the ideas, okay? The origins of the things that we have right now. Okay? So basically, so it begins with a question. Okay? So nagsisimula lang yamang yan sa isang pagtatanong. Okay? And the main reason why we are asking, okay, even our great thinkers or our philosophers before, so ito yung naging ginamit nila in order for them to come up with their philosophies and their discoveries. Okay? Simply because of asking question. And because that is the reason behind is because of our curiosity. So, especially, di ba, kapag bago sa atin yung isang bagay, bagong kita natin, bagong dinig natin, so, merong nabubuo sa utak natin na nakatanungan kung bakit, ano yun, bakit ganoon yun, okay? And that is curiosity, okay? At dito papasok yung pagtatanong natin, okay? Pagtatanong natin ng ano, okay? Sino, kailan, bakit, saan, paano. Okay? Because we want to search for the meaning. Okay? So, we want to find answer for that question. Okay? So, gusto nating magkaroon ng kasagutan yung curiosity na meron sa ating mga isipan. Okay? So, at yun din yung naging dahilan nga, katulad ng sabi ko kanina, kung bakit nag-come up yung mga philosophers natin sa iba't ibang philosophies. Okay? So, other than that, okay, philosophy, okay, seek for the truth. Okay? So, ang philosophy, hinahanap yung sagot tungkol sa katotohanan. Okay? And of course, not only the truth, but of course, what we call reality. Okay? So, ano nga bang pinagkaiba ng truth and reality? Di ba kung titingnan naman natin, parang they are almost the same. Truth, katotohanan, reality, realidad. Okay? Parang they are almost the same. Okay? But class, no, they are actually different. Okay? Kasi when we talk about truth, that is a true statement, okay, that is in accordance with reality. So, meaning to say, yung katotohanan, okay, na nakukuha natin is galing doon sa tinatawag nating reality. And that reality, okay, is referring to an actual situations, okay, or the real situation that happens, okay, or that is happening, okay. So, yun po yung truth and reality. For example, okay, so our current situation now, okay, so we are experiencing the pandemic. So that is the reality. Okay? So what truth can we get from that reality? Okay? So, we can say that most people no are struggling right now because of this pandemic. So, yun yung katotohanan na nakuha natin from the reality na meron tayo ngayon. Okay? So, that is the example. So, truth and reality, okay, kung titingnan natin, parang halos magkasing kahulugan lang sila. But actually, class, they are different. Okay? So, next is, of course, to seek for the knowledge. Okay? And when we talk about knowledge, okay, that is the accumulation of facts and ideas. Okay? So, of course, hangarin din ng philosophy, okay, na magkaroon ng mga kaalaman sa lahat ng mga bagay. Okay? And eventually, it will not end as knowledge. Okay? So, eventually, it will lead to something greater. Okay? And that is what we call wisdom. Okay? So, when we talk about wisdom, okay? So, ito na yung tinatawag nating karunungan sa Tagalog. Paano masasabi na meron ng karunungan? Paano masasabi na na-achieve na yung tinatawag nating wisdom or karunungan? Okay? So, when the time that you already have the synthesis of knowledge and your experiences. Okay? So, in order for you to have, okay, or to find the meaning of life. So, mahahanap mo yung wisdom na tinatawag natin or karunungan, okay, kapag yung kaalaman, okay, na nakuha mo from the books, okay, from other people, from your teachers, okay, so from the internet, so magiging wisdom yon kapag yung mga kaalaman na yun ay hindi lamang nanatili sa utak mo bilang isang kaalaman, kundi nagamit mo na ito sa mga practical situation mo sa buhay. Okay? Kumbaga parang pinagsama mo yung kaalaman mo at ang karanasan mo, okay? That will be equivalent to wisdom. Okay? So, wisdom is really deeper than knowledge. And I think wisdom is much important than our knowledge. Okay? Because wisdom, no, would help us to survive in this world. Okay? So whatever challenges or struggles na maaari nating maranasan, when we have what we call wisdom, okay? Kahit gaano pa yung kahirap, kahit gaano pa yung kakomplikado, okay? So kayang-kaya natin yung malagpasan because we have already the what we call wisdom. Okay? So kaya nga nagkaroon ng philosophy eh. Okay? Kasi yung simpleng pagtatanong, okay, hindi lamang basta nagkaroon ng kasagutan, okay, kundi ito ay nagbunga pa sa isang mas malalim or makabuluhang bagay. At yung mga philosophies ng mga great thinkers natin or mga philosophers natin ay malaki naman talaga ang naiambag sa ating lipunan hanggang ngayon. Okay? Kaya sabi dito, curiosity is the mother of all discoveries and inventions. Okay? So, ang pinagmumula ng lahat ng mga discoveries, ng mga invention, ng mga philosophers at mga scientists is just curiosity. Okay? So, it only starts with a simple question. At of course, hindi sila natapos sa pagtatanong lamang. They keep on looking for answers. Okay? So, kaya maraming mga bagay tayo na natatamasa ngayon, okay? Na napaka-beneficial sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay ngayon is because of just curiosity. Okay? So, I hope that you get the point. Okay? So, now, we have Thales of Miletus. Okay? So, sino nga ba si Thales of Miletus? So, si Thales of Miletus, okay, is considered as the father of philosophy. Since Thales of Miletus is the first philosopher who ever engaged in systematic questioning about the natural world. Okay? So, kaya Thales of Miletus, kasi yung Miletus, okay? So, ito yung lugar na pinagmulan ni Thales, okay? And that Miletus is a Greek city in Ionia, okay? Presently known as the country Turkey. Okay? So, and later, sa mga susunod na lesson, makakasalamuha pa natin si Tales of Miletus. And I will be discussing to you, no, for the lesson 2, what are the contributions of Tales of Miletus in the field of philosophy, aside from being the father of philosophy. Okay? So, we also have Pythagoras. Okay? So, si Pythagoras is the one who coined the term philosophy. Okay? So kaya tayo merong word na philosophy and the etymological words of philosophy that will be discussed in the next slides. Okay? It's because of Pythagoras. See, he was the one who coined the term philosophy and its etymological words. So now, let us discuss what philosophy is. So, it came from the Greek words philos, which means love, and Sophia, which means wisdom. So that's why, no, its literal meaning is the love of wisdom. And that is because of Pythagoras. Okay? So, it is also defined as a set of ideas formulated to understand the basic truth about the nature of being and thinking. Okay? So, set of ideas. So, meaning to say not only a single idea, but a combination of different ideas, okay, na pinagsama-sama in order to understand the basic truth. Okay? Especially the nature of being and thinking. Okay? Aside from that, it is also defined as the search for meaning. Paghahanap sa kahulugan ng mga bagay-bagay. So, yun po yung philosophy na tinatawag natin. And aside from that, okay, so hindi ko na sinama dito sa presentation, but these are included, no, in the module that was uploaded in our Google Classroom. Okay, so philosophy is also defined as the science that by natural light of reason studies the first causes or highest principles of all things. Okay? And under that definition, okay? So, pwede natin siyang himay-himayin para mas maunawaan natin. So, sabi ito, philosophy is a science. Okay? So, what makes philosophy as a science? So, it is called as a science because the investigation is systematic. So, meaning to say, in studying philosophy, they follow, the philosopher follows certain steps, okay, or procedures. So hindi lamang basta pinag-aralan, kundi merong proseso, okay, merong sinusunod na proseso. So that's why it organized a body of knowledge, okay. So that is philosophy as a science. Next is natural light of reasons. Okay? Or reason rather. So, ang ginamit lamang ng ating mga philosopher, okay, in order for them to come up with their philosophies are not using laboratory instrument, okay, equipment, or tools. So, ang ginamit lamang ng ating mga philosophers is simply their natural capacity to think or the what we call human reason. Ginamit lamang nila yung kapasidad or kakayahan nila na makapag-isip. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag nating human reason. Okay? Or also known as the unaided reason. Kaya nga sila tinawag ng mga great thinkers. Because they discover things because of their a natural life of reason. Okay? So next is study of all things. So study of all things. So same with other science, sa pag-aaral ng science. So ang philosophy ay ang pinag-aaralan nito is not only a single thing. Okay? So but rather no. So it study a lot of things. Okay? Not only a lot of things but all the things. Okay? So halos lahat ng bagay ay pinag-aralan ng mga philosopher. Okay? And everything can be explained by philosophy. So kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, sa lahat ng field, sa lahat ng pinag-aaralan. So ang unang tinatackle is the philosophical root. Okay? Kasi lahat nga ay nagmula sa philosophy. Okay? So next is the first cause or highest principle. Okay? So it is a principle no that from which something proceeds in any manner, okay, whatsoever. Okay? So there is always what we call the first cause or highest principle na tinatawag natin sa pag-aaral ng filosofiya. So let us discuss it one by one. So meron tayong tinatawag na principle of identity. Okay? So principle of identity states that whatever is, and whatever is not, is not. Okay? So everything is what it is. So everything is its own being, and not being is not being. For example, principles of identity. So ang tao kapag pinanganak, okay? So siya ay tao at kailanman hindi siya pwedeng maging hayop dahil siya ay tao. Ganon din ang hayop. Ang hayop ay hayop, okay? At kahit anong gawin, ang hayop ay hindi magiging tao. That is principle of identity. Okay? So next. Next is principle of non-contradiction. So it states that it is impossible for a thing to be and not to be at the same time and at the same respect. Okay? So ang ibig sabihin doon, yung mga pag-aaral ng filosofiya, hindi siya pwedeng maging non-contradicting. Okay? So kailangan lagi siyang sigurado. Okay? So hindi pwedeng kumbaga parang hindi siya pwedeng for example sa good, okay? Kung good yan, okay? Kung bad yan, okay? So hindi pwedeng good and bad and good. Dapat good is good, bad is bad. So that is the meaning of principle of non-contradiction. Next is principle of excluded middle. Okay? So, sabi dito, a thing is either is or is not. So, everything must be either be or not be. Okay? Between being and not being, there is no middle ground possible. For example, ng principle of excluded middle. Okay? Yes or no. Okay? If it is yes, it's yes. If it is no, it's no. Hindi pwedeng maybe. Okay? So, yung tinatawag natin yung principle of excluded middle. Okay? Next is principle of sufficient reason. So, nothing exists without a sufficient reason for its being and existence. So, lahat ng bagay, okay, ay merong dahilan. Okay? So, hindi magkakaroon ng existence kung walang dahilan. So lahat ng bagay dito sa mundo ay may dahilan. So that is the principle of sufficient reason. Okay? So next is the what we call a cause. Okay? So next is cause. Okay? It is defined as that from which in any way whatsoever exerts a positive influence in the production of thing. Okay? The main kinds of causes explain the how and the why of a being. Okay? And that causes, no, ay meron ding apat. Okay? So we have the material cause, the formal cause, the efficient cause, and the final cause. So this will explain kung ano ba yung pinagmulan ng isang bagay or ng tao. Okay? So let us discuss it one by one. So material cause. So material cause is that out of which something is made. From the word material. So ibig sabihin, okay? Saan gawa ang isang bagay? Okay? For example, this is the example. So, for example is um, a chair. Okay? Upuan. A wooden chair. Okay? The material cost of the wooden chair is, of course, the wood. Okay? That is the material cost. How about the formal cost? Okay? The formal cause is that through which something is made. Kapag sinabi natin formal cause from the word form, okay? So that is something to do with a design. Okay? So for example, so ang design ng upuan is for example, it consists of four legs, okay? So apat na paa. So yun yung design, okay? At merong sandalan. So yun yung tinatawag nating formal cause. Okay? So next is what we call efficient cost. So efficient cost is that by which something is made. When we talk about efficient cost, that is referring to the person, who made that material, or that matter. Okay? So, the efficient cost, of course, no, balik tayo dun sa example natin sa upuan, is of course the carpentry, okay? O yung karpentor, okay? Kung sino yung gumawa ng upuan na iyon. Okay, that is the efficient cost. Next is the final cost. Okay? Sabi, is that on the account of which something is made. Kapag sinabi natin final cost, okay? So ito na yung dahilan o yung purpose kung bakit ginawa yon. And of course, the wooden chair, its final cost is para maging isang upuan. Okay? Para magsilbing pahingahan. Kapag napapagod, okay, doon uupo. So that is the final cause. At yun yung four causes, okay, in studying philosophy. Okay, so can you follow? Okay, so I hope that you grasp everything that I am discussing right now. Okay, so next is okay, so this symbol is the official symbol of philosophy. So kung pag makikita nyo yung tawag dito, yung symbol na yan, no, it represent philosophy. So be discussing the different processes no in philosophy. So actually there are only three process lang naman sa philosophy. So it starts with wonder. Okay? So, di ba, minsan ganyan tayo, we are amazed. Tama? So, na-amaze tayo sa mga bagay, bagong bagay na nakikita natin. So, ganun din yung mga philosophers natin during the old times. So, kapag merong bago sa paningin nila, bago sa pandinig nila, okay, namamangha sila. And eventually, it will not end there. Hindi lang sila mamamangha. But of course, they will ask the question, why? Bakit? Ano? Saan? Paano? Kailan? Okay? So, may pagtatanong na. And eventually, after questioning, okay, katulad na sabi ko kanina sa simula ng ating discussion, they will seek for the answer. Okay? So hanggang they will accumulate the what we call knowledge, and eventually, okay, they will find, okay, the what we call, they will accumulate the what we call wisdom. Okay? So these are the three processes in philosophy, no? Kung paano sila nagka-come up sa mga different philosophies nila. Okay? So now we will be discussing the four main branches of philosophy. Okay? And these pictures represent the four main branches of philosophy. Okay? So let us discuss it one by one. So we have what we call metaphysics. So metaphysics derive from the Greek words meta, meaning beyond, okay? And physicon, meaning nature. Meaning to say, sa pag-aaral ng metaphysics, okay? So, we are studying the fundamental nature of reality and existence of being. Okay? So, sa metaphysics, pinag-aaralan, ano nga ba talaga yung nature ng reality? Okay? Na nangyayari sa ngayon. Okay? And as well as, no, yung nature ng existence ng isang being. Okay? So, kaya nga dito pumapasok yung pagtatanong natin na what is real, ano ba talaga ang reality, okay? What is the origin of the world, okay? Ano ang pinagmulan ng mundo, okay? So what is beyond the stars, okay? So yan yung mga kasama sa pag-aaral ng metaphysics. Okay? So and there are three sub-branches of metaphysics. So we have what we call ontology. Kapag ontology, the focus of the study is the nature and existence of being. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung nature ng isang tao? Ano nga ba yung nature ng isang animal? So, that is part of studying the what we call ontology. Next is cosmology. So cosmology, no, the focus of the study is the nature and origin of the universe. Okay? So, ang pinag-aaralan dito ay yung kung ano ba yung nature at ano yung pinagmulan ng universe na meron tayo ngayon. Okay? So, that is cosmology. Next is the what we call theology. So, theology is the study of nature of God and religious beliefs. Okay? Kasama din yan sa pinag-aaralan ng filosofiya. Okay? Ano ba talaga yung nature ni God? Okay? And of course, our religious beliefs. Okay? At yan ay pinag-aaralan ng sa theology. So kaya nga, 'di ba? Kapag ka ikaw ay, for example, if you are planning to enter a seminary, so ang sentro ng pag-aaral ninyo is all about theology. Okay? So, yan. This picture represent the metaphysics. Okay? So, these are the next slide will present you, okay, some question that can be answered by metaphysics. Okay? What is the meaning of life? So, does life have a purpose? Okay? Are people born good or evil? Okay? Does the universe have a design or purpose? All of those questions can be answered by metaphysics. Okay? So next is the epistemology. So epistemology derived from the Greek word episteme, meaning knowledge or understanding, and logos, meaning study. So in other words, okay, in other words, it is the study of the nature and scope of knowledge. So the center of the study of epistemology is of course no the what we call our knowledge. Okay? So it is a branch of philosophy, okay, that considers how people come to learn what they know. Paano natututo ang tao? How do people acquire knowledge? So that is part of studying epistemology. Okay? So And there are four main bases of knowledge. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na divine revelation. Okay? Kapag sinabi natin divine revelation, no, those are the things or the information that is being revealed by God. Okay? Of course, that can be revealed by our holy text or our sacred scriptures or the Holy Bible. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag nating divine revelation. Kaya nga 'di ba some of us, okay, hindi some of us as Catholic, no, since I am a Catholic, so I do not know with other religion. So the reason why we are attending the Sunday masses is because we want to hear the words of God. Okay? So, and we can get something from the words of God. Okay? So that is divine revelation. Next is the experience. Okay? Of course, no, we learn a lot from our experiences. Okay? We gain or we acquire knowledge through our experiences. Okay? So next is the logic and reason. Okay? So of course, no, we have the ability to think logically, okay? Or we have the what we call the we are a rational being kasi. Okay? And from analyzing a logical and reasoning question, of course, we get something from that. We learn something from logic and reason. Okay? So usually itong logic and reason, ito yung nagpapa-enhance talaga ng ating cognitive abilities. Okay? So next is the what we call intuition. Okay? So kapag sinabi nating intuition, okay, dito pumapasok yung ating, sa Tagalog, yung tinatawag nating sapantaha. Okay? So, kapag sinabi nating sapantaha or intuition, that is our ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. Okay? So, kumbaga parang kahit we have no idea on that matter or things, meron pumapasok sa ating isipan about doon. And that is our intuition. Okay? So, yun po yung four bases of knowledge. Okay? And this diagram represent the what we call epistemology. Okay? Because, okay, in truth and belief, okay, ang common sa kanila is knowledge. Because we get something from the truth, of course, and of course, we learn something or we acquire knowledge also with our belief. Okay? And truth and belief provide us knowledge. Okay? So, in the next slide, no, represent different questions that can be answered by epistemology. So what are the limits of knowledge? Where do we find sources of knowledge? How do we acquire knowledge? Are the ways of determining the validity of knowledge? Okay? So what is truth about knowledge? So that can be all answered by epistemology. Next is axiology. So axiology is derived from the Greek words axios, meaning worthy, and logos, meaning study. So in other words, it is a study of principles and values. Okay? So, dito pinag-aaralan yung mga moral values, okay? The moral principles of a person, okay? And of course, no, we have what we call our moral values and we have also the what we call the personal values. Okay? So, dito natin nalalaman, no, what is right from what is wrong. Okay? And of course, this axiology, no, has its own sub-branches. So, meron tayong tinatawag na ethics. So, ethics, focus on the study of moral values and right conduct. Okay, dito pumapasok yung ano ba yung dapat nating gawin. Okay? So, ano ba yung mali? Ano ba yung tama? So that is part of studying ethics. Okay? So next is the aesthetics. So aesthetics, focus on the study of beauty and art. Okay? So, and this picture represent the axiology. Okay? So, kumbaga para makita niyo na there is a balance. Okay? So, it represents a balance. No? Kasi it represents the what we call the moral values. Okay? So, kailangan we have the ability to distinguish what is right from what is wrong. Okay? So, next is the key questions or the questions that can be answered by axiology. Okay? So what are values and why are they important? How should we live our lives? What is right and what is wrong? How do we judge what we see, touch, and hear? What is beauty? That can be all answered by axiology. Okay, so next is the logic. Okay, so this is the last branch of philosophy, the last four main branch of philosophy. So it derived from the Greek word logike or logikos, meaning ordered or systematized. So in other words, it is the art of correct reasoning and critical thinking. Okay, so it seeks to organize reasoning. 'Di ba? When we are asked to answer a logical questions, 'di ba usually we always organize our thoughts, okay? Kung ano yung mga nasa isip natin. And of course, we use our critical thinking in order for us to answer a logical question. Okay? We need to think in a structurally sound manner in order for us to solve a logical question or a logic itself. Okay? And there are two types of logic. So, meron tayong tinatawag na deductive, okay? And what we call inductive reasoning. Pag sinabi nating deductive reasoning, okay? So, this is from general, okay? So, we are analyzing from general to specific. Okay? Kapag sinabi naman natin inductive, kabaliktaran noon. Okay? So, we analyze from specific to general case. Okay? Or arguments. Okay? So, this focus on the formal structure of truthful arguments. So, yun po yung pinagkaibahan ng deductive and inductive reasoning. Once again, deductive from general to specific and inductive from specific to general. Okay? So, next. So, we will proceed now, okay, this are key questions, Ito yung mga tanong, that can be answered by logic, What is the ability of ideas and how can it be determined? How can we communicate with others without contradicting ourselves? What do our arguments mean? Okay? So, ayan, di ba? When we are, for example, when we are engaged in a debate activity, so of course, we are using our critical thinking, para kahit anong ibato sa atin na tanong, okay? At kung anong ibato man sa atin na napahayag nila, we can answer it, in a logical manner. Okay? So, we are done discussing the four main branches of philosophy. So now we will proceed to the specific fields of philosophy. So we have what we call philosophy of education. So philosophy of education deals with how children should be educated, what they should be educated in, and what the ultimate purpose of education should be for society. Okay? So dito pinag-aaralan kung paano nga ba natin tuturuan ng ayos ang ating estudyante, okay? Not only our students but our children, okay? So ano yung dapat nilang matutunan, okay? And ano nga ba talaga ang hangarin or layunin ng edukasyon sa ating society? Okay? So yan yung pinag-aaralan sa philosophy of education. Okay, next is what we call the philosophy of mind. So it deals with the consciousness and how it interacts with the body and the outside world. Okay? So ang pinag-aaralan nito is our awareness, okay, about different things, okay? And what is the connection of our mind or our human brain, no, in our body and the environment that we have. Of course, our mind, no, has a great role, no, has a major role in our body, okay? Because our mind controls everything, okay? Every parts of our body, and at the same time, no, on how we are going to respond with our environment. Okay, so that is part of studying philosophy of mind. So next is philosophy of history. Okay? So philosophy of history, okay? So of course, it deals, okay? So with a relative minor branch, okay? In the field of philosophy, focusing on the study of history. Okay? Writing about history, how history progresses, and what impact history has in upon the present time. Okay? So, yun yung pag-aaral ng ng philosophy of history. Ang pinag-aaralan dito is what we call the significant events, in the past. Okay, di ba yun naman yung pinag-aaralan sa history? Um, yung mga mahalagang pangyayari ng nakaraan na merong kinalaman sa kasalukuyan. Okay? So that is being part of studying philosophy history. Next is what we call philosophy of science. So philosophy science is concerned with how science operates, what the goal of science should be, what the relationship science should have with society, the difference between science and other activities. So sa pag-aaral ng philosophy of science, paano nga ba nagiging bahagi ang science ng ating pang-araw-araw na buhay? Okay? Ano nga ba ang goal ng science? Okay? Ano nga ba ang relationship? Ano ba ang kinalaman ng science sa ating society? That can be studied through philosophy of science. So next is philosophy of law. Okay? So of course, meron din tayong tinatawag na philosophy of law. So it explores such topics of what law is, ano nga ba ang law, okay? Para saan nga ba ang batas, okay? What kinds of laws there are, ano nga ba yung mga iba't ibang uri ng batas? So how law is or should be related to morality. Of course, merong kinalaman yung ating batas sa moralidad ng isang tao. Okay, they are interconnected with each other. And what sorts of principle should govern punishment and criminal justice in general? Okay? So, of course, no, the main purpose of philosophy is of law, okay, is malaman natin para saan ba yung tinatawag nating criminal justice. Okay? And what we call punishment. Ano yung basis, sa pagbibigay ng punishment sa isang taong nagkasala sa batas. Okay? So next is philosophy of language. Okay? Philosophy of language, it has close ties to both epistemology and metaphysics. It treats a broad spectrum rather of questions about language, the nature of meaning, the relations between words and the things, the various theories of language, learning, and the distinction between the literal and figurative uses of language. Of course, language is part of our daily life. Okay? And of course, kailangan alam natin yung mga meaning ng language. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba, tayo kapag pumupunta tayo sa ibang lugar, we are studying the different meaning of language, no? Kasi iba naman ang kahulugan ng mga lengguwahe nila doon compare sa atin because we have different language. Okay? So, next is what we call the significance of philosophy. So we are already done discussing the specific fields of philosophy. So now we will proceed to the significance of philosophy. So ano nga ba ang kahalagahan ng filosofiya? Okay? So at alam ko you will agree with me that philosophy is really important. Okay? So first is critical thinking and general problem solving. Okay? So the study of philosophy enhances our way to solve a problem. Okay? So tinutulungan tayo nito in order for us to be a critical thinker, in order for us to analyze different concept, definition, arguments, and problems. So natutulungan tayo nitong filosofiya na ito. Okay? So na maging isang what we call critical thinker, and at the same time we use our reasoning skills in order for us to solve our different problems in life. So next is communication skills. Okay? So of course, philosophy help us also to enhance our communication skills. Okay? Kasi 'di ba, if we have a lot of ideas about different things, okay? So kumaga parang mas nagiging tayo, communicative. Parang nagiging expressive tayo because we have a lot of ideas. Okay? So that's it, okay? So communication skills, it help us, philosophy provides us basic tools for self-expression, okay? So in order for us, to discuss matter in a well-constructive way, okay? So next is persuasive powers. Okay? So syempre, 'di ba? If we are knowledgeable about different things because of philosophy, okay? So nagkakaroon tayo tawag dito, ng abilidad, na mang-engganyo, okay? Ng iba. Okay? So it develops our ability to be convincing. Okay? Syempre kapag marami tayong alam, okay? The way we speak, kapag tayo ay nagsasalita, talagang ang ating listener ay maiengganyo. Okay? Sa sinasabi natin. So that is persuasive powers. So next is writing skills. Okay? So writing skills, of course, philosophy teaches us interpretive writing through examination, of challenging text. Okay? So syempre if we are knowledgeable about different things, kapag tayo ay for example, there is a question, at inalaw tayo na sagutan it through writing, of course, we can express much ourselves through writing. Okay? So whatever arguments na kailangan nating i-defend through writing, we are capable of answering or solving those arguments. Okay? So because we are knowledgeable of different things, and that is because of philosophy. Next is probe into the meaning and value of life. Okay? So of course, so philosophy help us to attain self-reflection. Okay? Or what we call self-realization. Okay? At itong philosophy natutulungan din tayo, na malaman ano ba talaga, okay, ang kahulugan at kalagahan ng ating buhay. Okay? So, next is help pave the way towards self-development and self-discovery. Of course, sa pag-aaral ng filosofiya, okay? So, it tackles also about ourselves. Okay? Wherein, sa pag-aaral natin ng filosofiya, okay, unti-unti natin nadidiscover yung mga bagay na patungkol sa atin na ipinapaliwanag sa atin ng philosophy. And eventually, magkakaroon tayo ng self-development. At kapag nagkaroon tayo ng self-development, we can attain the best version of ourselves. Okay? So next is creation of our own philosophy in life. Okay? So, this is the most important. Okay? So, kaya nga, may final output with you, no? Has something to do, no? With your own philosophy in life. Okay? So, at the end of this semester, I hope that you can formulate or you can create your own philosophy in life. Okay? That can be beneficial for you, to face the different challenges or demands of life, no, that you are about to face in the next future. Okay? So, those are the significance of philosophy. Okay? So, thank you for listening. So, I hope that you learned a lot from our discussion for today. So, stay safe everyone and stay healthy. So, God bless you all.